What's up, everyone? Welcome back to World IQ. Today, we'll be featuring a small country booming with things to offer. With its rich culture, history, and breathtaking landscapes, traveling to this country will surely fatten up your bucket list of wanderlust. Take a virtual tour with me through the one and only island of fire and ice. If you're a thrill-seeking adventurer, if you're a nature lover, if you're looking for something different for your travels, then you must take this tour with me. Here, you'll discover active volcanoes, geysers, hot springs, glaciers, ice fields, and fjords. Let me take you to Iceland. Let's get it. Iceland is an island country located in the North Atlantic Ocean. It is situated between Greenland and Norway. It is a very small country with fewer than 400,000 people. Did you know that it has more sheep than people? Yeah, there are like 600,000 sheep here. Iceland has a rich and diverse history. The first recorded settlement period here was in the 9th and 10th centuries. This was during the time of Norse explorers. They became under Norwegian rule during 1264 to 1380. In the same year, Denmark and Norway were united under one king, which brought Iceland under Danish rule. Iceland became independent in the 19th century. The first election was held in 1844, and in Reykjavik on July 1 in 1845. In Icelandic history, 1874 was indeed a milestone in which they celebrated 1,000 years of Nordic settlement in the country. Both men and women received full civil rights in the first decades of the 20th century. They had a whole personal union with Denmark. It means that Iceland is independent and sovereign, but they are in a joint monarchy with Denmark. The establishment of the Republic of Iceland as a country had been accepted almost unanimously by a referendum. After the post-war period, Iceland developed its economy, modernized sea fishery, and constructed power plants that utilized geological energy and hydropower. A lot of other things happened, like in 1946, they became a member of the United Nations, OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development in 1948, and NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, in 1949. There's still a lot more to unveil when it comes to history. I haven't told you guys everything, but I think that's enough to cover all the bases. Today, Icelandic society has some interesting facts that'll surprise you. If you ever thought about living in Iceland, there are a lot of things to consider. And of course, the most important one would be if you can afford it, because the cost of living in Iceland is pretty high. If you think $40 per meal is luxurious, in Iceland, that price comes from what they consider a cheap restaurant. A one-bedroom apartment will cost you at least $1,600. Living here is 17.9% higher than in the United States, and the prices in the US are already on a high level. So this is some otherworldly stuff. Well, the average salary here is around $3,600 per month, one of the highest in the world. So most Icelanders can get by comfortably. If we're talking about equality, then Iceland is the perfect example, especially in terms of compensation, because Iceland is the first country in the world to have made it illegal to pay men more than women. The Icelandic population is highly educated. They have the reputation of having the most read books per person, and almost all of them can play a musical instrument. I bet impromptu musical performances normally occur in the streets of Iceland, if they have that many talented and skilled people. This next portion is about their way of living that is not common to other countries. Did you know that in Iceland, parents cannot name their children as they please? They must choose from an authorized list of about 2,500 names per gender. Surnames in Iceland are formed by the first name of their father or mother, with the suffix son or dotir. So yeah, they have their whole naming system figured out. Did you know that in Iceland, it is illegal to have snakes, lizards, and turtles as pets, and only dogs can be kept with a special permit? There are no problems with cats. I guess we can brand Icelanders as people who love cats more than dogs. Getting around the city is also a bit different compared to other Western nations, since there are no trains or subways here. People travel by car, on foot, or by bus in the capital. Now, let's move on to something cultural. Elves, Holdu folk, or hidden people are a significant part of their history. Most Icelanders aren't elf believers, but plenty of them are not willing to deny the possibility. You already know that Iceland's economy depends on fisheries and tourism, but there is one feature that is unique to this island nation. Did you know that the word duvet comes from eider, an Icelandic duck whose feathers were used to fill duvets? Did you also know that the most expensive duvets are found in Iceland? Authentic Icelandic eiderdown can cost you at least $1,600. The main reason for this is eider feathers are difficult to source. There are only certain areas where the eider ducks gather during the summer to lay eggs. Now, we can't talk about culture if we don't talk about food now, can we? There is this typical Icelandic dish called hulkur, fermented shark. It is made from Greenland shark meat, buried with stones for months and dried. They say that the final product smells like ammonia. I don't know if I want to try that. Sounds unappetizing if you ask me. As a sweet tooth, I love their ice cream, especially Bruggerfur. It's a mixture of ice cream and candy. There are also plenty of options on how you want to chow it down, such as crushed candy, cookies, licorice, and fruits. One of the typical dishes of Iceland is kitmugar, a kind of pudding made of a cod's stomach filled with its liver. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not much of a liver-eating person. But if I ever try one, it'll be in this country. We've tackled so much about Iceland already, but do you know what else we haven't talked about yet? Tourism. Why is this small island so famous? I'll tell you why. Nature. Did you know that during the winter, that's also when the polar night is? That means that the sun is hidden for 24 hours a day. It's nighttime all day long. It sounds implausible, right? Icelanders also have a lot of lore, but my favorite is the legend about the first Viking colonizer who buried a treasure in a cave behind the waterfall of the Skoga River. Legend has it that when you see the chest, it disappears. That sounds like a plot for a movie, right? They try to uncover the secrets of the chest and find a way to not make it disappear, so they can have the treasure. If you've ever seen that K-drama about a Tony Woo, the one that loves whales, tell her that she'll enjoy it here, since it's a magnificent place to go whale watching. They can be seen around the island. They have a permanent population in the northern fjords. This may not seem that important, but for someone who finds ants annoying, if I ever do move to Iceland, I will never have to be annoyed by ants ever again. Does that make sense to you? Because Iceland has such icy surfaces that there are no conditions for the survival of ants. This country is the only one in which ants do not exist. I know it's cold here, and Icelanders are looking for some heat. This blue lagoon in Grindavik is perfect if you want to relax and immerse in nature's hot springs. Home to the geothermal spa, the lagoon is a well-liked tourist destination because of its milky blue waters, which are full of minerals and are believed to have therapeutic benefits. The water in the blue lagoon is naturally heated by the Earth's geothermal energy and is typically around 37 to 39 degrees Celsius, or 98 to 102 degrees Fahrenheit. There are also amenities to aid your trip. Lava Restaurant and the Blue Cafe. You can thus enjoy cocktails, health products, delicious meals, and treatments such as massages without ever having to leave. If you want to go hiking, there's a place in the south of Iceland, 180 kilometers from Reykjavik, which is Landmannalaugar National Park, one of Iceland's most popular tourist destinations. The main feature of this mystical landscape are the multi-hued rhyolite mountains, the Hekla volcano, and extensive lava fields. The best time to visit is summer, because if you go there in the winter, your trek might become more challenging and even dangerous. So just be safe and go in the summer. If you're a fan of Frozen and you want to live that fantasy of singing Show Yourself beneath an icy cave, then the Skaftafell Ice Cave at Vatnajökull National Park will give you that opportunity. The park offers a wide range of traditional outdoor recreational activities, including hiking, driving, camping, and birdwatching. Since the weather is ever changing, going to the park requires preparation and logistical planning. There are tents and overnight nights, but travelers must always get information from the national park, so you guys know which areas are safe. Going into the ice cave itself is challenging, even for the adventurous souls out there. It's best to contact mountain guides and book your tour. Iceland also has a place for Lord of the Rings fans and all Middle-earth fantasy lovers. The Kirkjufell Kitchifetch Mountain in Grindelfjörður will transport you to that time when hobbits and elves roam the earth. But be careful of Smog. He's very violent. Aurora Borealis. But of course, you cannot go to Iceland and not be awed by the beauty of the northern lights. The Aurora Borealis. According to National Geographic, an aurora is a natural light display that shimmers in the sky. Blue, red, yellow, green, and orange lights shift gently and change shape like softly blowing curtains. Auroras are only visible at night, though. But remember what I told you about Iceland? About polar nights? Yeah, they will be on display for a lot longer. You can gaze upon its beauty every day until polar nights are over. Well, that's all for me today, folks. I hope I gave you a glimpse of Iceland's beauty. Which fact about this beautiful country did you find the most interesting? Let us know in the comments. See y'all next week on another episode of World IQ.